This is the Palace of Westminster in hardcore Minecraft, with every single detail, every building, all in survival Minecraft. I started off by building the outline of the whole palace, which looks huge. And because this place is mainly made out of wood and concrete, I might need 1,000,000 of these blocks. The first block on our list is oak wood, so I'm gonna build this wood farm, which is one of the most complex farms I've ever seen. So after trading for all the redstone components needed for this farm, I started making it. And for this farm to work, we need bone meal. So I also made this bone meal farm and connected it with the wood farm, and now it works perfectly. Next, I was running low on iron, so I also decided to build this iron farm. The next block on our list is concrete. So I built this concrete powder farm and later made a concrete converter. And now I have all the materials needed for the palace. So I started off by building the front wall of the whole palace, which is massive. And if I don't want the walls to look like this, I'm gonna add some details to the towers and walls, like adding windows, fences, and other blocks. And this looks much better than what we had in the start. But this only adds more materials to our list. And if I'm gonna have to finish this palace in time, I would need a better wood farm than this one. So I found a better design, and this farm produces 4,500 logs per hour, which would be enough to build the whole palace. So after collecting the materials, I started building it. And now we can start working on the palace. And because this front wall is absolutely massive, it took a lot of time to detail it. And with that, the front wall of the palace is fully complete. Now before we continue, there are a few problems with this palace. The first one being, this front wall of the palace is made out of wood. So if lightning strikes on this, the whole thing will burn down. And if I don't want my hard work to be burned, I built these lightning towers, which will catch the lightning. I hope. And the second being, this whole palace is floating on the ocean, which does not look good. So to fix it, we need to place sand all over the island. So after AFKing at the sand deeper for a long time, I finally had enough sand. Alright, let's see. Oh my god, that's a lot. And now that we have the sand, we can start placing it around the island. And now we just need to make the terrain look a bit more natural by adding small beaches around the island. And after hours of just placing sand, it's finally complete. I mean, it looks... I don't know. And now we can start working on the left side of the palace. And this side is going to be very difficult to make because it includes a Victoria Tower, which, believe it or not, is the highest point of the whole palace. And yes, it's taller than the Big Ben. And to make the Victoria Tower, we need a lot of wood. So after AFKing at the wood farm, I finally had enough. But the problem is, I couldn't strip it because my axe was about to break. So I decided to go mine for netherite. Alright, this should be enough. And now we can start working on the tower. This tower is actually divided into 3 parts. The lowest part, the middle one, and the highest part. I started by building the lowest part of the tower, which was very tricky to make because of the archway in the middle. And that's the lower part complete.
And this is not even half of the tower fully complete.
Trust me, you want to watch this video till the end because the final product looks insane. And now I'm gonna build these pillars of the Victoria Tower. After that, I'm gonna connect the pillars with these walls and repeat the same thing on the other side. And with that, the middle part of the tower is also complete. And now we can start working on the final part.
I don't know about you, but this looks like a chair to me.
And now we just need to repeat the same thing on all the sides of the tower. Just like that, the final part is fully complete. Lastly, we just need to finish off the roof. And the tower is fully complete.
This place looks stunning at night.
Next up, we need to make the back wall of the palace. And while I'm making these walls, I want to remind you about subscribing. Because for every subscriber this video gets, I'm gonna place a block of TNT. And if you want to claim your TNT, make sure to subscribe. It's completely free and it helps me out. With that, the wall is fully complete. And now we're gonna build the St. Stephen's Fort, which is mainly made out of wood and concrete. And it's very complicated to make because there are very small details that I have to add in this build. And now we just do the same thing for the other side. Just like that, the back wall of the palace is fully complete and it already looks amazing. And now we're gonna make the Westminster Hall. And the Westminster Hall is actually the oldest part of the whole palace, which is mainly made out of stripped birch logs. So I switched my tree farm to birch, and that's how I got all the wood I needed. And now we just need to add small details to the hallway. Next up, I need to make the roof of the hallway, which is made out of grey concrete. So after AFKing at the concrete duper and converting all the concrete powder into concrete, I started making the roof. Following that, we're gonna move on to the top right corner of the palace. After that's complete, we're gonna start working on the back side of the Westminster Hall. And because this building has a unique shape, it was very tricky to make. Finally, to finish it off, we just connect the roof to the hallway. When that was fully complete, I started making the tower which is beside the back side of the St. Stephen's porch. And we have to fill in the whole tower with light grey concrete. For the next part, I had to make this tower and connect it with the walls, but I forgot to record. So now we're gonna make the white gallery which is right beside the Big Ben. Now before we make the Big Ben, I have to destroy this old wall which I built in the start of the video and make new ones in place of those. And once that's complete, we can start working on the Elizabeth Tower, aka the Big Ben, which is the second largest tower of the whole palace. And the bell inside the clock tower weighs about 13,000 kilograms. But in Minecraft, it's just a regular bell. And the time on the tower is exactly 2:55. And fun fact, Big Ben is actually more famous than the pyramids of Giza. With that, the exterior of the palace is fully complete. Alright, this took so much time to make. And now we have to make the interior of the whole palace. So after getting all the wood I needed, I started making it. I'm gonna start making it from the right side of the palace and work our way to the left. First, I'm gonna build the outlines and walls of the buildings and make the rooftop. And by the time I upload this video, it's probably been 6 months since I started making this palace. So I have to hurry up. When the roof is done, we can start working on the other buildings. Finally, we just need to make the floor of the palace with concrete. With that, this side of the palace is fully complete. Next up, the central part of the palace, which consists of 4 walls. And they all meet up in the middle to make the central part of the palace. When that's done, I connected the central part with the wall of the palace. Meanwhile, on the left side, I made a huge wall which connects the middle part to the left side of the palace. And did the same thing on the other side. The roof of this hallway is also made with dark grey concrete, like all the other buildings. When that's done, we can start working on the roof of the building which is next to the hallway. And do the same thing right here. Once that's done, we can start making small buildings all around the palace. Finally, the last step is to make small details all around the palace. And with that, the entire palace is fully complete. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button because this video took 6 months to make and I'm not even joking.